Okay, so I'm just going to run you through this controller, starting with the top part. This is the steering axis, obviously. I've got this wound out at the moment, but you can wind these in and have it on a bigger throw than this. It goes to about 90 degrees. I've got it on about 70 here. This is where I prefer it. On here as well, we've got the clutch and the front brake and the throttle. We've got 4 buttons on a box over this side. You can assign anything you like to those. And on this side we've got 2 buttons and a little joystick, a little gamepad joystick, and I use this for sit and lean, rider lean left and right. Also on this I've got a front back rider lean axis here, which is a bit unusual, but while you're doing everything else you can basically use this to get the front and back lean done. And with that and the joystick and the foot controls, that basically covers all my needs for MX bikes. This is a pretty standard motorbike setup. Rear brake, gear change. Going at the rear brake initially. It's obviously on a spring for the return. That puts up some resistance. What I've also done is put this chamber here. And inside that chamber is a piece of silicon tube which provides resistance by way of this this bar here, which basically pushes on the tube. Provides resistance that's something like a hydraulic brake, and this is how I prefer it. And to that end, you can, with this bolt, you can undo it and get yourself some more travel and sort of less resistance, and then you can wind this right in and then give yourself more resistance and less travel. And obviously you then calibrate after you do this, so you don't lose out on braking, as it were. But most of the time I turn my brakes down anyway. So this as well can be, you can actually do away with this and just take this thing out and then put a stop on here. I will actually supply a nut and a rubber washer on here, so you can actually have this so it stops at a place of your choice. You just basically lock the nut and the washer on this bolt. You still have this end stop here, but then you just have another stop here, which will give you spring only feel. Onto the gear change. I've tried to make this something like a real motorbike gear lever. So with this, you've got this play in the middle. I've got springs just sort of supporting it there, and then when you actually push down with a bit of pressure, you hopefully hear this click. That then will give you your gear change, and the same with upwards. So you should feel that click with your foot, and then obviously you'll know you've got the button pressed, as it were. A quick bit about the clamp. It's basically a set of jaws that will clamp onto a desk, and hopefully with the various adjustments I've made available on here, with the amount of gap you can have between the jaws and the position you can put all these bits and pieces in, it should fit a wide variety of desks. But all this is necessary to try and keep the whole thing steady, and you will need a sturdy desk as well. And some nice big rubber feet on there to make sure there's no damage to the surface of any desk. And just quickly in there you can see the bearings and the springs that hold this thing steady and put up the resistance.